I recently reposted one of our conversations that we had on a few episodes, not a few episodes, it's like several, maybe 20, 30 episodes ago. And it was a story I told about a certain level of ambition. And where I'm going to go has nothing to do with ambition, but just to set up for the reason why I told the story. And it was the time that we had met or ran into Kanye and tried to get a demo CD to him, and you know, and just remembering and reflecting on that time, right? And we got tons of stories probably that we can go and tell. But this is just one of those moments of our time in the past, back in our heyday, I guess you can say. I don't know if you want to call it a heyday. Young 20s, trying to do something, trying to figure it out in life. And
we might have been teenagers then.
We might have been like 19.
Yeah, late teens. About 19.
20 maybe, yeah. Well, you might have been 19. I might have been 20. You're a lot younger than me.
Yeah, I'm a lot younger than you. So, yeah. you was probably 20. I might have been about 14 at the time. You know what I mean? Like
young buck. But you know what I'm saying? We had some really good times, man. We had some really good times. Those college years. But what happened in those years, and even before college years, you can go back to high school. And for some people, if you relate to this, it might take you back to high school, college, a little bit after college. But we came up in an era where not a lot of times was the camera on us. We even made jokes like this back in the day. Like, man, this is before reality shows was reality. We might have had The Real World and Road Rules. And that might have been like the only other reality shows that were out at that time before we got to college. And like, man, somebody need to be filming us. Like this would be a legendary documentation of
some of these
five
moments,
young
right?
five young black men in college or whoever. Like, you can add some other people in here, and we'd have some characters on this show. We'd have some characters. It would have been something. It would have been hilarious to see. But we come from a time where the cameras weren't always on, or cameras weren't even on at all, because we didn't have cell phones with cameras on it. And then when the cameras did come out on cell phones, it was terrible quality, very limited. We had a little Kodak joint where you can hit the little reel and you get your snap. You don't know what your picture look like until you take it.
Do that.
Yeah. That's all you had. That's all we had back in our day. But it was some moments that we had back in that time. And to tell some of the stories would be almost unreal. It's like you had to be there. And if a lot of the things that we got were put on some kind of footage, how would life have been for us? Like, especially when you compare to kids in this day and age, growing up with Instagram and TikTok, and everybody's always recording something. Anytime something happens, what the most 99% of the world do? They pull out their phone. They gotta capture the moment. They had a concert. They record it. They watching the concert through their phone. Or whatever's going on, instead of actually looking at it with their own eyes and actually taking it in, they're looking at everything through the lens of their camera to capture it, to watch it later, which is cool, which I actually enjoy, going back and looking through the years of all the content I've captured throughout life. And it's fun to see. A lot of people miss a lot of things because they look at everything through their camera instead of just enjoying the moment and taking it all in. But we have these youth growing up in this world of capturing everything in a moment. Like, they might conduct themselves a little different. Some don't care, and just some weird stuff getting captured on film. How would our lives have been if the camera was on us back in the day?
Unfortunately, as much as I would like to think it would have been, we'd have had some type of different values, we probably would have been the same, man, is what we see today. Unfortunately, I think we would. I think if cameras would have been going on where it was just the norm, everybody would have been doing a little extra for the cam. Like, we were saying, we always made that comment from the perspective, you should catch this because we're already doing some extra. You know what I mean? So this needs to be documented. But then you're going to get the people that's going to step it up when that attention on them. You know what I'm saying? To not be boring for the camera. And I think, I think we'd have just been here still. If you'd have dropped that technology off back in the past, we'd have still been what we'd
be the same as this group of people with the cameras rolling, the things that we've been catching on camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
think the only thing that prevented us from being them is the lack of technology influenced a set of codes and values. It influenced our values, the lack of technology. So back in the day, people were kind of like, we appreciated our privacy and we was like, don't tell nobody, everybody ain't got to know. It was a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
But that was because that's what the technology warranted. Your information couldn't be out anyway. So in return, you leaned on the fact that my information can't be out there. But once you start having ways to document and record everything, people start leaning on that. You know what I mean? Like, so I think we'd have got to the same point. Like, it ain't that we want wilding and the generation before us want wild and everything else wants some craziness going on.
They definitely were.
They were. You know what I'm saying? Papa had his kids on the other side of town. And the only reason he was able to get away with that because nobody could catch him because technology didn't allow.
Yeah, so, when no Facebook, can't look up who Shirley from down the street, other side of town.
Yeah,
you can't find out who her people are.
His family was Shirley and whoever else, and it was good. But if you could document that, it would have been documented. And Papa was keeping it a secret because he could. But the moment that you can get attention for it, I think people would have done it. And that breaks my heart to say that because I really would love to believe that in the past we were more thorough and the people before us was more thorough than our generation and they just kept getting that way. But nah, bro, I think we'd all fell victim to this ridiculousness we're looking at today.
Yeah, because it's not only the fact that, one, that things can get documented, it's the dissemination of information now, too, across the world. You know what I mean? So, like, whatever we did on the second floor of Jameson, stayed on the second floor of Jameson. That was it. You know what I mean? Now, whatever happens on that same floor, in that same room, on that same hall, in that same dorm, you get it on film, TikTok, everybody in the world see it. So, like, it's the fact of not only recording it, but the fact that you have access to disseminate the information that you've captured to the masses. So it's like, man, I don't know, man. we had some times that should have been captured on film. It would have been interesting to go back and and relive those times and see, like, yo, yeah, man. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, I think it would have been interesting. I mean, do you think that people would have still stayed the same, or us? Do you think we would have been like, I don't know. Now that I think about it, D, think about who we were back then. Us specifically. I'm not even going to go to the general population. Think about us generally. How many pictures are there from us in college?
Almost none. And the few that we did take, I don't think ever got developed.
Never got developed. I remember people pulling out those little yellow Kodak cameras on us. We ain't let no pictures get taken of us like that.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Like, so
yeah, we wasn't gonna get caught in no pictures.
No pictures, happening. No camera. So I don't know. Maybe we wouldn't have you and I in our group wouldn't have participated. Hey man, put that camera away. What you doing? You know what I'm saying? We might would have been like that, but I think in general people would have still been open to the camera. Do you think that?
I think so. Because like when it got introduced, and what they used to say, do it for the vine or something, or that meant whatever you doing, do it a little extra because the cameras are rolling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
do it like you're doing it for TV. Because we about to post this.
TV. Yeah. So honestly, I'm going to say, because we came right at that cusp. You know what I'm saying? We were still relatively in our mid to later 20s by the time that all the stuff started really coming about, YouTube and everything started really going. So we saw the evolution of it on a large scale. Of course, you already know if you take it back to the days of Freaknik and what's the word? Girls Gone Wild joints.
Yeah.
When the camera was rolling, they didn't care. It was on. Mainly because one, information wasn't getting pushed out like that other than Girls Gone Wild because they were selling the CD.
Girls Gone
VHS.
Wild and the Uncle Luke tape. Worst case scenario, you would have ended up on an Uncle Luke tape back in the day. I don't know. You familiar with those Uncle Luke tapes?
Yeah. Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Okay.
But it's the fact that nobody can go back and find who you are. Like you wasn't going to see that and be like, you can trace it through social media. Somebody who knows somebody on Facebook, or somebody who knows somebody on MySpace or Instagram, and be able to connect the dots to who you are. So if your video got put on Girls Gone Wild or Freaknik or Uncle Luke, whatever, and you got caught on camera, it might have stayed whatever. It's no face, no case type of deal. You can barely figure out who's who, and then the quality wasn't all that great. So
yeah, exactly.
You had a few things to your benefit. But now with the way that social media is, coupled with the way that technology's gone and everything's 4K digital, now I see you.
Yeah.
I see you.
That's you.
I see you.
That's you. Yeah, you got to worry about your job being lost, all that stuff now.
Yeah. So going back to say that, it's like the fact that, hey, when cameras were rolling, hey, it was on. Like they did a little extra because the cameras was going. So yeah. Some people might have put on a little bit more for the camera, just like they kind of do now. But the whole going viral thing wasn't a thing back then. And people trying to go viral. And, hey, you're going to catch me in a moment. Watch this. Watch what I do. Trying to be attention seeking. Like it was attention seeking to a degree. It had a cap on it. You know what I mean? It had a cap on it.
Yeah. Because you were really just trying to impress the people around you at the moment.
Yeah, in that moment. Yeah, that's it. That was it.
Couldn't have been but so many people in most cases. You know what I'm saying? Biggest case scenario, you were in a nightclub trying to impress however many people paying attention to you. If the club circle around you, it was your moment. You were a superstar at that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, but everybody,
everybody around you circle up.
Circle up and watch you get down on the floor.
Yeah.
And she start backing you down and you start moving and the homies got to start holding you up like, hey, bro, put that hand in your back so she don't back you down.
Hey, man, somebody, hey, have my back. Have my back.
Yeah.
You better hold me up.
That was it. Better hold me up before she put me down. And if they put you down to the ground, and then she go down on the ground on you and you like,
it's a wrap. Finish him.
Yeah, you was a celebrity in the club that night. You know what I'm saying? But that was as big as it got. Other than that, you might have been trying to impress, 5 or 10 people in most case scenarios. Now you're trying to impress the whole world because there's a big dollar sign at the end of the road if you can get enough attention.
Yeah.
There was no money in attention before. People didn't seek attention before. You know, I don't think most people were searching for fame back in the day. I think most people were searching for the riches that came with it. Because nobody knew that fame made you money like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it got to the point where people started wanting to be famous also. But I think riches was always the motivation for most people.
Yeah. That's pretty much all it was. Yeah, now people want the attention more so than the financial gain that can come along with it. Hey, I just want to go viral. I just want 100,000 followers. Whether that translates to money or not, who cares? Who cares?
They don't even care about that.
Yeah. I just want you to know who I am. That's all I need. But I'm just saying, man, it'd have been a sight to see. And I just wonder like how we would have maneuvered the landscape of life if we had to deal with the same things this you have to deal with now, with the whole social media, the whole everything's getting caught on camera. Nothing happens without somebody pulling out their phone, to record something. It's gonna get recorded. We had to worry about that back in the day. So it was
we didn't. We probably would have adapted. If I go back to who we were is 18, 19, 20, 21, we probably would have adapted. I don't know if we'd have been posting all our stuff. I don't know. I think I know who in the crew would have posted our stuff. Put it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like it'd have got posted, but it would have been, it was maybe one or two people. You know what I'm saying? Out of the crew that would have posted it, and or maybe somebody outside. You know how like a TV show has like the main cast and you have like the little guest stars and stuff. Like if it was Martin, it was Martin. It was Tommy. It was Cole. It was Gina and Pam.
And the hustle man every now and then.
Yeah, your hustle man, your Shanae, you know, all these different people, bruh man, all these people show up. Our bruh mans and our Shanaes and our hustle man, they would have been probably posting it. You know what I'm saying? But out of the main cast of characters that we hung with, maybe one or two of those would have posted it.
Yeah.
If they thought they could get a good laugh off of it.
Yeah. Facts.
So I think in a sense we would have adapted, but I don't think all of us would have been whipping our phone out. I think if I would have pulled my phone out back in the day, which I still don't pull my phone out for nothing today, but if I would have, it would have just been to laugh at us in private. But I probably still.
I was gonna say that exact same thing. Like if anything did get recorded from my end, it would have been just for the local moment, right? For that circle. Like I rarely post like things of other people. Like I might have a lot of recordings of other people and things that's happened, but I don't share that information. I come from that cloth of, hey, look, that's just for our circle. I'm gonna show the homies around us. Hey, check this out. Look what Jared did. Y'all see that? But I'm not gonna post that. Few things. Right. It just depends on what it is, the level of detriment or whatever, or how hilarious it might be, or whether I feel like somebody else should know this information or not. Nah. But other than that, we dodging the camera.